Don't forget to turn on your microphones there, peoples. So that the people can hear you go, oh my.
That's why it was so fast last time.
Is that right? Is that
No
what happened?
sound.
Someone say that?
I wonder who that be.
Warm here tonight, isn't it?
Hmm?
Warm here tonight, isn't
I
it?
know, I was gonna say it was hot, and it is really hot here
I
down.
figured just because I'd walk outside.
And I'm going to, I had them, what you call it, the day two? I had, just in case, I had that,
All right, everybody.
so I might get one.
Call our regular public council meeting for Monday, May 29th, 2023 to order. First up, new business, Councillor Tepper.
I'll pass.
Councillor Manning.
I'll pass.
Councillor Pollard.
Yes.
Councillor Eppes, absent. Councillor Goss.
I'll pass, please.
Deputy Mayor.
Greetings.
Okay, and I got congrats. Very good. Okay, can I get a motion to adopt the agenda as amended, please?
So, seconded.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Thank you very much. We got a set of public council minutes here for May 15th. Could I get a motion to adopt those, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any errors or omissions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. We don't have a slip tonight for the, oh yes, we do. Everybody check the conflict of interest stuff, 560 Bowling line. Okay. Anything comes up, time, deal with it then. Proclamations, we got a few tonight. Proclamation for Red Shirt Day. Deputy Mayor.
Okay. Whereas Eastern Seals Newfoundland and Eastern Seals Canada are celebrating its 101st year in 2023, Red Shirt Day is an Easter Seals initiative first celebrated in 2019 and takes place annually during National Accessibility Week, observed starting the last Sunday of every May. And whereas Red Shirt Day is a day to wear red in solidarity and show support for persons and families living with disabilities, and whereas Red Shirt Day is a day to celebrate the achievements of people living with disabilities and to pledge our commitment to help create a fully accessible and inclusive society that values the contributions of people with disabilities in all aspects of life. And whereas disability, accessibility, and inclusion do not end with just one day annual event. In order to make Canada a truly accessible and inclusive society and our community truly accessible, it requires constant year-round commitment and efforts of all Canadians to put into practice. And whereas it is encouraged that residents and the community make a commitment, a pledge, to educate and inform ourselves on issues related to disability and to do what we can to remove attitudinal and systematic barriers in schools, workplaces, and communities so that we can make Canada a truly accessible and inclusive place for people of all abilities. And
Now therefore, the town of Torbay do hereby proclaim Wednesday, May 31st, 2023 as Red Shirt Day, and encourage all residents to wear red and display solidarity to show support for fully accessible and inclusive communities. So moved.
second.
Moved and seconded. Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. Next one on the list is Proclamation Oceans Day 2023. Councillor Tepper.
This is a resolution recognizing and celebrating World Ocean Day 2023 and the advancement of ocean conservation in Canada. Whereas Thursday, June 8, 2023 is the 31st annual World Oceans Day. World Oceans Day is the United Nations Day for celebrating the role of the ocean in everyday life and inspiring action to protect it. Whereas countries around the world, including Canada as a prominent leader, have committed to protecting 30% of their ocean territory by 2030 in order to reserve nature loss in the ocean and safeguard at-risk marine life. Whereas the ocean is home to hundreds of species at risk, vulnerable ecosystems, and is a crucial carbon sink shielding us from the worst of climate change. Whereas the ocean produces over half of the world's oxygen and absorbs 50 times more carbon dioxide than our atmosphere. Therefore, protecting the ocean is in the interest of all life on Earth, and communities both coastal and inland, as it is essential to our shared future. Whereas it is the jurisdiction of the Government of Canada under various pieces of legislation and regulation to establish marine protected areas in consultation with Indigenous peoples. Many Indigenous nations and communities are leading in the conservation of the ocean and have been stewards of the ocean since time immemorial. Whereas it is important for municipal leaders to demonstrate support for actions to safeguard the ocean, as they have for action on climate change and other environmental matters of national importance. Whereas in celebrating the ocean and protecting its habitats and ecosystems, we can together raise the profile of ocean conservation's critical role in improving planetary health and slowing the crises of species collapse and ecosystem decline.
Therefore, be it resolved that the Town of Torbay recognize the 31st anniversary of World Ocean Day on June 8, 2023, and support national and international efforts to protect 30% of the ocean by 2030. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. All right, next one is Proclamation for Recreation Month 2023. Councillor Goss.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, Proclamation Recreation Month, whereas the community of Torbay recognizes that recreation enhances quality of life, active living, and lifelong learning, helps people to live happier and longer, develops creativity, and builds healthy bodies and positive lifestyles. And whereas recreation provides opportunities for personal growth and development for people of all abilities, and can be especially helpful to people with disabilities. And whereas our parks, open spaces, and trails ensure ecological sustainability, provide space to enjoy nature, help maintain clean air and water, and preserve plant and animal wildlife. And whereas recreation is an important contributor to the community economic development, which creates jobs, fosters tourism, and makes communities more attractive place in which to live, learn, work, and play.
Therefore, the community of Torbay does hereby proclaim the month of June to be Recreation Month. Signed this 29th day of May. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. One more. Pride Month Proclamation. Councillor Pollard.
Thank you, Your Worship. June is Pride Month. The Rainbow Pride flag is raised in celebration of Pride Month and to honor 2SLGBTQIA+ community members of the town of Torbay. The colors of the flag represent the diversity of the 2SLGBTQIA+ community. The color red signifies life, orange is healing, yellow is sunlight, green represents nature, blue for art, indigo symbolizes harmony, and purple represents spirit. And whereas June is Pride Month to recognize and commemorate the Stonewall Uprising in June 1969 in New York City, which sparked the social movement for human rights of lesbian and gay people. And whereas during Pride Month, the world's 2SLGBTQIA+ communities come together to celebrate sexual diversity, freedom, and acceptance. And whereas Pride Month is a movement to protest discrimination, prejudice, and violence, to promote dignity, equal rights, and self-affirmation, to increase awareness of the issues faced by the 2SLGBTQIA+ people. And whereas Pride Month raises awareness and understanding of the 2SLGBTQIA+ community while promoting equity, inclusivity, and a greater acceptance of diversity. And whereas the town of Torbay is honoring Pride Month to support, recognize, and celebrate contributions and diversity of the 2SLGBTQIA+ people in our communities.
Therefore, I, Craig Scott, Mayor of the town of Torbay, do hereby proclaim the month of June 2023 to be Pride Month in the town of Torbay, and encourage residents to commit to continuing awareness, inclusion, and acceptance for all members of our community, regardless of gender identity, race, ethnicity, age, and beliefs. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. All right. So that is that. We don't have any presentations, no Q&A. All right, mayor's report. So during our mayor's report, we're going to have I'm just going to talk about the two contests that we did for Municipal Awareness Week and announce the winners. So what is a mayor and what does a mayor do for Holy Trinity Elementary? So these were entries from grade kindergarten to 4. And we had a total of 123 entries. And it was, they had to complete the drawing and write down what is a mayor and what does a mayor do. So myself and the CAO separately read through every one of them and looked at them, and then I picked out what I thought were the best ones, and she picked out what she thought was the best ones, and then she, I guess, saw where we had the common ones, and that's who won. And I guess I'll just to the winning entries for kindergarten. It's Rhea Critch, age 6, Maren Sparks, age 5, Nathan Hayward, age, I'm assuming 5 or 6. Grade 1 was Brooklyn Taylor, age 6. Grade 2, Caden Soper, age 7. Emily Clark, age 7. Riley Cook, age 7. Haley Earl, age 8. And grade 3 was Ariana Rossell, age 9. Rachel Cal. Lillian Jobs, age 8. Grade 4, Charlie Witten, age 9. Henry Mann, age 9. And Emily Hornell, age 10. And I just want to say thank you to all of them for putting in those entries. I've already determined that I guess we're going to write a letter back to each of those grades, those classes, and thank them for their entries. And because there were so many from the kindergarten to grade 4, we'll do up a letter for each class and send it back. I'm sure they'll enjoy receiving that. And staff will be in contact later this week with the teachers to figure out how we're going to go about presenting them with their award and stuff. It should be a lot of fun. Also, so we had a 2023 Mayor for Day contest with Juniper Ridge Intermediate, and we had 60 entries for that. And these students had to write an essay, and I read through every one of them, and I can tell you that even in grade 5 and it was grade 5 and 6 we had, there was the ideas that they put forward for how they felt they could make Torbay a better community, and also and this was the great part. The first part, they talked about Torbay and what was good about it and how they like living here and all that kind of stuff. So all the essays they wrote were really nice and heartwarming, and I enjoyed reading through every one of them. So we have 60 entries for that, and I've already committed that for each one of those entries, I'm going to write a letter back to each one of those students individually, and because some of them brought up things in their essays that things we already have in the town that they might not be aware of. Because a lot of them were asking for additional basketball courts, because we don't have any basketball courts outside. And we do, we have them up at Forest Landing, and we have them up at the Upper Three Corner, and we're putting another one out in Carroll Drive area that way. So, yeah, be nice to go back with them, but their essays were great. And it was a fine few hours that I spent reading through them all, and I'm going to spend a few more hours, I guess, writing letters back to all them students. Hopefully I can get it all done before school ends in June. When does school end, Don, do we know? I'll be honest. So the winning entries for grade 5 was Ellie Mercer and Abby Stanley, and grade 6 was Madison Lee, Julia Martin, and Lucas Hopkins. And our plan is to have each of those winners in to co-chair a public meeting with me as we go forward. So it'll probably be the next 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be 5 meetings anyway throughout the summer and into the fall before we can all get them in and let them experience what it's like to sit at an actual council meeting and bang the gavel and
All the bad examples.
well, we'll try and be on our best behavior when they're here. And I think it's something that I wanted to do. I felt it's probably more meaningful than having a mock council meeting where it's not really that, it's kind of, we've done that before. So this is something that we can try and actually have them here for a public council meeting, a real one, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. So we'll be in contact over the next little while and try and set up the schedule for how that's going to work. So I want to just say congratulations to all them winners and thank you very much for all the entries that you put in. And anyway, give us a little hand for all them winners. Okay, I only got one other thing. And I would just mention that myself and Councillor Tapper and his wife Joanne and Councillor Neary and her husband Brian and myself and my wife Lorraine attended the 7th annual Kepnemic Gala on Saturday night at the in St. John's. It was the first time that they held it in St. John's. They usually do it on the West Coast. It's for the Mi'kmaq Cultural Foundation. And we attended that, and they had a performance there by the St. John's Mi'kmaq Women's Circle. They sang about 7 or 8 different songs, and they had their drums and all their, I guess their outfit, I guess, or regalia, or whatever they want to call it. But it was a lot of fun. And you had another lady, Jennifer Lowe, who was there, who is a entertainer, songwriter, and she did 3 or 4 songs for us. It was a really good time, and it was the first time actually I had opportunity to go to a Aboriginal dinner gala, and it was a lot of fun. It's a new experience, and really liked it. So I'm glad that they chose to do it in St. John's this year and give us an opportunity to go. All right, so that is that. Where am I on my agenda? Okay, Business Rising report for May 29th. Anybody have anything on that?
Just one question, Your Worship, on that. The
Go ahead.
DARE program with the RNC and that.
Yeah.
Did we take that back to committee at all after?
I don't think we did yet. Don has some.
The Director of Corporate Services is going to speak to that because it was referred to Corporate Services.
Okay.
That came back to corporate services to find out where the money would be spent, how much came in from other municipalities, and what our share would be. That will come back through my committee when I get answers to those questions.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Anything else? Okay. All right. So we have correspondence from Team Young. It's a request for sponsorship for the 2023 season. So we'll forward that off to Corporate Services. We have a memo here from Municipal Assessment Agency, just for information purposes only. And we have a correspondence here from, I believe, a grade 3 student from Holy Trinity Elementary that sent me an email requesting that, I'll read it, it's only short. To Mayor Scott, I would like to please request a playground in the Ready Drive area because I live close. It is downhill to Holy Trinity Elementary School playground, and it's really hard to use the bike to come back up. So a closer playground would be very nice for all the kids in the neighborhood. Thank you very much for considering my request. So I did respond to his email and forwarded on to Public Works, that is?
Recreation, Community Services / Infrastructure, Public Works, so maybe both directors can meet on it and provide a recommendation back.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank him for his email, and it's nice that we get stuff from the younger members of our community. So, all right. Committees of Council. Committee of the whole report, there is none. Planning, Land Use Development, Councillor Pollard.
Thank you, Your Worship. We met on the 24th at 9:30. There's only 2 items here on the list for the day. The first one is for a proposed subdivision of property for agricultural use, an orchard off the Balleen line at 560 Balleen line. It's the second time this came back. We asked the proponents to come in and give us a presentation as to how they see that piece of property rolling out, and it looks like it'll be over a couple of years with the planting and trees and that before there's any actually construction built on that property. So we don't have much trouble putting forward a recommendation. So motion to conditionally approve of proposed agricultural use and single dwelling in association with the property at 560 Balleen Line, C02023-021, in accordance with regulations 33 and 90, and subject to conditions outlined in associated background report and standard conditions within the development regulations for agricultural uses in the rural land use zone in Torbay. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments or questions?
I just want to say, just in furtherance to that, the zone allows for residential development as long as it is in relation to the actual farming operation themselves. So, and that was a point of discussion that we had, and like I said, we had asked the proponents to come in and present. So one of the conditions for approval is that the orchard actually gets planted first, and some 500 trees, I think is written in the wording there, prior to any footings permit being issued, so.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
The next motion is just to accept the permit listings for weeks ending May 25th, 2023 as tabled. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. That it?
Is it, Your Worship? Thanks.
Barbie. Admin and HR. Councilor Manning.
Okay, we had our meeting on May the 24th, excuse me, and the recruitment and selection section there, where there's several things there. Marketing coordinator, there's 3 candidates being interviewed for that, and they're scheduled for June the 8th. Economic Development and Tourism Ambassador, starting on June 1st to September the 1st. Planning and Development Ambassador is also, the names are there in the minutes. Noah Penny, June the 8th to August 18th starting. Community Outreach Assistant, Torbay History House and Museum. The interviews are complete, and is anticipated this competition will be filled by June the 9th. Heritage Coordinator and Museum Registrar, Torbay History House and Museum. Employment offer has been made to the recommended candidate, awaiting response. Collection Management Assistant, Torbay History House, this summer position. And information's there. They're in the process of conducting 3 interviews. General Maintenance, 1 worker, Infrastructure and Public Works, Andrew Piercy has been the successful applicant, and he'll be on for 13 weeks starting June the 8th. General Maintenance 2 worker, Ian Power, successful candidate, and he started on May the 25th, and that'll be for 15 weeks. Infrastructure and Public Works Supervisor, Philip Folke has tendered his resignation, so a job advertisement has been posted, closing June 2nd. General Maintenance 2 worker part-time. There are 7 applications that have been received, and the Director of Recreational and Community Services and Facility Supervisor are currently reviewing. So a date for interviews will be confirmed within the next 7 days. 2023 summer day camp positions. They've all been filled or hired, and the names are all listed there and their titles, I guess. And accounts receivable procurement administrator. We have just recently received Kim Osborne has tendered her resignation effective June the 9th. And then the next steps to fill the upcoming vacancy will be confirmed. We have policies and procedures there. There's, you can read down through them. We're bringing forward the customer service standards policy tonight. All the rest are being circulated to the rest of council for their comments and thoughts. Other items, acting assignments, Director of Recreation and Community Services, Director of Human, CAOs provide committee with an update. Once Director of Human Resources, he's on holidays right now, returns annual leave, they'll discuss it further. The gap analysis, Director of Human Resources is working on the framework and action items, and he'll be bringing those forward to the next committee meeting. Collective agreement, CAO is in receipt of the next draft. She's reviewing and will bring forward to committee of the whole on June the 1st. Municipal enforcement, RFP, excuse me. CAO is meeting with the directors of corporate service and infrastructure and public works to review the final draft and post the week of May the 29th, so this week. The emergency plan, CAO and directors are completing the incident command system training and submitting their testifier and emergency services by June 2nd. The Red Cross will be reviewing the layout of Torbay Common for shelter purposes before the end of June. Just waiting on a date. And meeting was adjourned at 1:41.
You got a motion there?
I do have a motion here now, so I'll,
Just 1 second.
yeah,
So if I could, for 2023 summer day camp positions, I just
Yeah.
want to make sure whether I'm in conflict there.
Well, we're not making no decisions on that. That's
Just,
your-
yeah, again, want a clarification, just
Yeah.
to make sure that anything to be brought up, so just wanted to be sure.
So the conflict is, and just so people understand, is that your son is listed on.
Yes, and I, again, no part of the actual hiring process whatsoever. He just applied on his own and was lucky enough to get the position.
Okay. All right.
So that comes down to a motion on salary or any kind of a motion, then he would be. So that's just
Yeah.
something to keep in mind, the same as what Ralph, 'cause I meant to
Right.
mention that to you.
Yeah, if we're actually making,
Yeah,
council's making
motion
a
on-
decision.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that.
Thank
yeah,
you.
thank you.
Okay.
So the motion I'm going to bring forward now is for the customer service standards policy. Town of Torbay adopt the customer service standards policy as presented effective May the 30th, 2023. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right,
Okay, that's the end of my business.
thank you very much. Moving right along. Corporate services. Counselor Tapper.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As usual, we'll deal with the Corporate Services Committee report. Payroll, regular payroll for 51 employees for the 2-week period ended May the 19th, 2023 totaled $99,478. Accounts payable for the 2-week period ended May the 19th, 2023, invoices in the amount of $281,361.32 were processed. So we have some invoices for council approval. The following 9 operating invoices totaling $180,384.49 are presented for approval. Invoice 6003367, Brand Tractor Limited, Steering Repairs John Deere Loader, $11,429.36. Invoice 90205468, ESRI Canada, $11,741.50. Invoice 197748, GFL Environmental, $45,411.81. Invoice 23046, Grand Concourse Authority, $32,500. Invoice 3094821A, NARL Narrow Marketing Limited, $6,722.66. Invoice April the 28th, 2023, NL Power, $19,649.03. Invoice May 12th, 2023, NL Power, $15,414.04. Invoice May the 1st to the 15th, 2023. Receiver General, $32,429.29. And invoice G0644443, WSP E&I Canada Limited, $5,086.80. So moved for approval.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Questions?
Can I just ask a question there on Grand Concourse with regards to the first installment for beautification? Like, what does that actually entail? Because it seems like a lot of money. So they're getting paid that up front?
No?
Anybody?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the first of, their first installment for their beautification. So the budget for beautification is 65,000. So that's for taking care of all of our outside plants, beds, and those things.
So they're going to be, that include maintenance and that on the trails and that as well?
That is all part of that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just thought it different to be paid up front. Normally, I thought it was paid after the services were received.
Yeah, so we do it in 2 installments, the way it works. So they've already gone out and done a lot of the work. And like say, as we go through the year, then they do the maintenance and stuff like that besides that, right? So if you look at, for instance, up in front of Depot Building, you'll see where you've got the new mulch and all that stuff, but that includes all that stuff.
Okay, all right,
Right.
thanks.
Okay?
Okay, all right, thank you. Any other questions? I had a quick question, Brian. The wastewater sampling, how often do we have to get that done?
Wastewater sampling is done monthly.
Do we have to pay that every month?
No, that's I think that was might have been the last invoice for, I'm gonna go back and look again. I think that might be the last invoice for last year's project when they did the final report and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Okay, we'll go on to motions, committee motions. There's only one here, the Recreation Refund Policy Day Camp. Just to mention that the Recreation Committee asked us to deal with this, I guess, change in the policy. So further to motion RES-88-2022, that the Town of Torbay adopt the revised refunds for cancellations of rentals and registrations for recreation and programming policy as presented, which includes day camp information pertaining to refunds for day camp programs. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Any questions? So is this to provide more flexibility for people, for instance, and we all know, right, we get emails, I was able to get 1 week at camp and then I couldn't get any more, and then they go on and get camp somewhere else, so it gives us flexibility to be able to refund those people their money.
Yeah, we have a big wait list, probably 20 or more people per week. So if there's people that can't make it for valid reasons other than medical, it makes more sense for us to do a refund than to get somebody else in.
Right.
So this kind of gives us the flexibility to be able to do that. And it also avoids, I don't know if anyone's seen, but there are families asking on social media to swap, like amongst themselves, and it's just not, like, you know, there's several reasons why we can't do that. For one, they're not registered through us, and we also can't give a tax receipt. So this way makes sure that we can do a proper process.
Okay, all right, that's good. I know it's probably, because I've been there before, trying to register my kids for a camp, that's in Torbay. And then you try and get the whole summer, and then you can only get, you know, so, anyway, thank you. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried.
So there are other documents there for just general information if you have any questions. If not, so ends my report.
All right, perfect, thank you very much. Economic Development and Tourism, Councillor Goss.
Mm-mm.
No. Oh, okay. So it is, look at that. Sorry. Don't forget to turn on your microphone. My glasses must be steamed up or something.
Okay. May 24th, this is an update. Staff resources, okay, we want to welcome Maria Humby, is the new Economic Development Tourism Ambassador, and she'll do a 3-month term starting the 1st of June. This role will support programs such as Tulip Festival, Makers Market registration, and planning, experience Torbay tourism marketing, and develop and conduct surveys with local businesses as part of the BRE exercise. Expression of interest, 11296 Torbay Road. There's no update at this time. EDO Lawrence is working closely with the planning department regarding interest in it, and all matters regarding interest are to remain certainly confidential at this time, and will be brought forward to council, to committee of the whole. Torbay wayfinding signage. Town is waiting for Bugden Signs to resubmit the updated signage draft for review. And a draft of the Torbay Beach sign was received and is being reviewed now. Youth Entrepreneur Program. Confirmed date for the Holy Trinity High School program is June 5th, and judges for the event are Deputy Mayor Thorne Goss, Youth and Seniors Coordinator Kay Camden, and EDO Lawrence. Added component to this program is in the works, and whereas a local business owner attend the event and offer advice, offer advice to each student presenter. So details are to be finalized. Juniper Ridge students are preparing a one-page essay about local Torbay businesses, and the school will be provided with a list of registered businesses. Holy Trinity Elementary were provided posters for this year's art contest with the theme, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" So this year there are first, second, and third places for kindergarten to grade 1, and first, second, third places for grades 2 to 4. Tourism, 2023 Tulip Festival. This is going to be held the week of June the 11th to the 17th. EDO Lawrence is working on invitation and social media ads to be released. And the week will include a kick-off event at, what is that?
History House, I think.
Yeah,
Torbay
this
History
is the
House
Torbay History House Museum, and partnerships with the Recreational Department to include an outdoor concert and community fun day. So hopefully that should turn out good. Torbay Flower of the Year, free seed packet program, lavender seeds are ordered, and a social media campaign will begin in June. And seed packets will be available for residents at different town facilities. Tourism opportunities. EDO Lawrence will be meeting with George, good one, Maswalk, regarding potential locations and experiences in and around Torbay that can be included in George's tours. George was involved in the theatrical play Come From Away in Toronto and played Gander's mayor on the stage. He moved to Newfoundland and has established a passenger tour experience similar to Parsons Tours and is in search of places and towns to add to his itinerary. So more details to come. That looks like promising. Tourism Week photo contest winners. We received 79 photo submissions for this year's Tourism Week photo contest. All 79 photos were breathtaking, and the town thanks everyone for sharing their photos. 4 winners were chosen randomly and will each receive $75 gift card to local registered Torbay businesses. The winning photos are attached to the minutes. So the winners, in no particular order, are Laurie Furlong, Mark T. Gonzalez, Yvonne Sullivan, and Sylvie Lefer. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. And that is the end of those minutes. Next meeting,
you.
June the 1st, all right?
Any questions? I just want to say thank you, Deputy Mayor, for going to the Holy Trinity Youth Entrepreneur Program. I know you loved it.
I know, I really
do-
enjoyed that last year.
I do too, and it's, I went for several years, and it's a really great experience. And,
Yeah.
and it'd be nice if we can, and to the point about incorporating it into, with our business people, be great. But I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun there. You do a great job doing the
Yep.
judging. There was one other thing. Oh, yeah. There was probably 8 or 9 photos, because I put in 10, but I said that these are not for the contest. I don't qualify. Anyway, thank you very much. Any other questions? Okay. Where am I to? History, Heritage, Culture, and Arts. Deputy Mayor.
Okay, just waiting for it to load up. Okay, we had our meeting on May 24th. Self and Councillor Tapper and Councillor Manning attended as well. And our manager, Noah. And I'm not going to go down over all the particulars. I'm assuming Noah gave his report and an overview of the operations. Registration for the History House and Children and Youth Summer Program is now open to Torbay residents, and they have 10 available programs. Interpretive plan for the music history special exhibit is being prepared. And Arts Northeast will be exhibiting in the Art Gallery in July. History House is hosting the, we just heard, the Tulip Festival kickoff on the 11th. And financial reports there. Summer exhibit, the History House will have a full slate of exhibits to open to the public for our July 2nd anniversary. A special exhibit on the history of music and song in Torbay, as well as an art exhibition of works by Arts Northeast will be available as well. I don't see anything else. Educational Programming Master Plan Manager and Councillor Manning met with teachers from Holy Trinity Elementary and Juniper Ridge Intermediate School on May 16th. The meeting was the kickoff of the Educational Programming Master Plan. And there's the project overview and everything is there. And the Canadian Museum Policy Renewal requests for feedback. They're going to go to the advisory board, and that's available too. They're attached for anybody who would like to complete it. And as well is the grants that he has applied for so far and the status of them. So, I don't know if anybody got any questions? I would just say, while we were there that day, somebody came in and stole the donation jar that was up there. So that makes me think that there should be, and there's so many different kinds of security cameras and what have you, that if there isn't nothing up there available or whatever the status is, I think that it's something that we should invest in and have it for people that are going and coming up there. So we need that in the form of a motion or what? Because
Do we know how much was stolen?
I don't know, do you know, did you get a total on it?
Any idea, any ballpark from previous emptying of the donation bin?
I would anticipate no more than $30.
Okay, so we can,
I think the best thing is for staff to research options, the Director of Infrastructure Public Works in conjunction with the manager, and then bring back a recommendation.
okay.
Because I'm really concerned now about what we have up there and the value of it, let alone people bringing in art, but any of our exhibitions that we have up there, and know that there's no form of security, nothing. And I think that that's something should receive immediate attention, personally.
Probably when this happened while you were having a committee meeting, right? So if there's a time when staff are not gonna be out on the floor, maybe we should lock the doors and put a doorbell on it, so people can't come in.
But it only take that, like, now what happened at the Common, and I don't think that it's something, at least we could have something there. And some of these security cameras, they're not all that expensive. So, anyway,
All right, so
something to bring forward,
staff will take it back and look at it? All right, thank
Yeah.
you.
and that's it.
All right, thank you. Infrastructure and Public Works, Councilor Pollard.
Thank you, Your Worship. We met on the 24th of May at 8:15. A lot of these items are repeats and still in process. The flow meter project, we're still waiting for the final install on software, and hopefully that'll be done, if not done already. Software?
No, software is not installed yet. I was, received an email today, and they're hoping to have an update on sometime this week.
Okay, thanks. The trail development funding. There needs to be some adjustments done. The cost of doing the trails has, especially the trail to the Colonel Amherst Monument, has risen significantly, mainly because, well, once the snow cleared, they had a better idea what they had to deal with down there in terms of slope. So once those figures come back, we'll discuss that in committee and come back with a recommendation as to how we want to proceed with that. On the same train of thought, I guess the cost of the playgrounds for Pine Ridge and Upper Three Corner Pond need to be reviewed again as well. So we will be reviewing those and bringing those back for the same reasons. The price has gone up considerably. So we may have to trade off a playground in one place or the other, depending on how the money looks at the end of the day and whether or not the grant for Upper Three Corner Pond can be transferred to Pine Ridge or vice versa, I should say. Safety lights, the Wood is still working on the design and tender documents. Hopefully that'll be done very soon because we'd like to get that finished off. The funding for beam review place retaining wall project went out to 6 contractors. We got 4 bids in response. They're all listed there, and there's an associated motion with that. So the motion is to award the beam review place retaining wall project to Evans Landscaping in the amount of $52,801.10 plus HST. This is a budgeted item for 2023. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Comments, questions?
We did go back and ask that everyone take a look at the details of the bids because there is a significant gap, 52 being the lowest and 209,000 being the highest, to just make sure we had all the requireds taken care of. And it seems that it is that way, so we're ready to proceed and recommend.
One thing to add to that, there, Councilor Pollard, would be that the original estimate on that was around the 50, so that's probably where the price should be.
Okay. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
The salt sand storage project will be ongoing for a while still. The roads project, there was some discussion around the widening of a section of the road on Corey Road Extension. There's a small section there that needs to be done after review, and it came in at a cost of about $11,500. So there's a motion here to proceed with the change, additional work on Corey Road Extension as part of the multi-year capital works road project number 17, MYCW 2200069. The additional work will widen the asphalt from 3.8 meters to 5 meters while maintaining a 1 to 1.5 meter shoulders. The estimated cost using the unit prices provided in the original contract is estimated at $11,500. The project will still be under the original budget. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Questions, comments? That's the portion between the fork and the bridge, is it?
Yes.
Very
So,
small section of road.
That where the resident called about it, is that's the improve?
That is
Okay, all right, perfect.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Everything else is pretty well there for everyone can read. I spoke to the Pine Ridge and Upper Three Corner Pond Playground issue. The annual line painting contract is in. We got 3 quotes from 3 different groups. The lowest was $14,470 by Tough Coat. So there's a motion here to award the line painting contract for 2023 to Tough Coat in the amount of $14,470 plus HST. This is a budgeted item for 2023. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. All in
I
favor?
believe Tough Coat was the one that did it last year as well, right? It is, yes, a couple years ago.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
That ends my report, Your Worship, unless anyone has any questions.
I got a question with regards to the cleaning contract tender. And I guess what's happening with that, I noticed that it's in here, but that's in several weeks now with regards to knowing what's happening.
Are we close to that, Brian, to having the comparatives?
Yeah, so myself and the Director of Corporate Services are going to be meeting later this week to discuss that, so we'll have those numbers from you next time.
I'm just concerned, it's been brought even to my attention with regards to Newman's still operating without, I guess, the tender or without a contract for, it's been since COVID actually, this point in time. And then how long, so I guess even if a tender was going to be awarded, until you figure out where you go from here with it. So I guess at the next meeting, we'll have some more information. Okay, thanks.
Okay.
So ends my report, Your Worship.
Thank you. I guess it's all right to say, but we did receive notification that we got approved for our phase 2 of our water treatment at North Pond, so thank you. That motion be coming forward at the next meeting, and I just want to say thank you to MP Thompson and MHA Wall for working on that for us and getting it moved forward. So we got phase 1 and 2. No reason why we won't get phase 3. That's if logic is any part of it. But I just wanted to mention that. All right. Thank you, sir. Recreation and Community Services. Counselor Goss.
Thank you, sir.
Got you right this time.
Got me. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We met on May 23rd via Zoom. A lot of things were discussed in this particular meeting. I'm going to go down and go through a few things that I'm just going to pass a couple of comments further once I get to the end there. So largely summer day camp registration, the 8 weeks, of course, as it always is, has been sold out with 60 kids in the amount of $70,200 in revenue. Large wait list right now, obviously. Subsidized amount to offer full second camp. And I guess I was going to mention this at the end, but we've had so much registration in the past number of years with these camps, is that, and we talked about it in corporate services and in recreation, that we very much think there's demand for a second camp. Hopefully, that's something we can look at down the road, maybe in budgetary sense. That, if you look at the numbers, and Director Martin has put them in there, that this is pretty well a cost neutral we don't go in the hole, if anything, if it's a little tiny bit, but we need to offer something else again for, I think, our community and for our parents, for the kids, that, it just seems that something that sells out so quickly like that, there was such a demand, I think we can do a little bit better. Again, the subsidized amount to offer a full second camp with 60 kids would be about $27,800. This amount would decrease if registration costs for camp increase. And again, we know we are cheaper in terms of what we're offering these services for. So the covered cost for staffing, which would also be a lower amount, the breakdown of revenue expenses is attached, and you will see for your review. The Killy Coast Games is the registration going quite well. 550 athletes registered for the games this year, with 190 from Torbay. Again, attached you will see the breakdown in communities of where the registration is coming from. The committee discussed an updated plan for summer events, which will also fall under Recreation Department staff. Summer activity guide is due out the last week of May, so it should be out if it's not out right now, it should be out soon. Information is also attached for reference, noting that the events occurring in June are live registration. We're also advertising the spring guide that came out in April. As I said in my preamble there, June is Recreation Month, so we celebrate this June dedicated to reinstating the importance of actively participating in recreation. Torbay Commons Project, the director updated the committee on several projects that are ongoing under COA funding. This includes accessory shed upgrades, a digital sign, banquet tables and chairs. Community gardens, registration for both community gardens will open on June 1st. Residents interested can email recreation@torbay.ca. And the director is working with the Director of Public Works and Infrastructure to look into the water source for the garden, as well as plan for fence repairs at the Town Hall garden. In terms of funding, we're updated that several funding applications have been submitted in the last couple of weeks. These include Government of Newfoundland Age-Friendly Committees, Stream 1 funding, Government of NL Seniors Inclusion Grants for intergenerational programming, an active NL grant for Killy Coast Games. The CAO also submitted an additional application for the Community Garden Fund. As of note too, so far in funding this year, Director Martin let me know that she has had in excess or just about $110,000 in funding, so I think hats off, the great job there in getting that funding for the Recreation Department. Also, as we did with one of our motions, we had talked about a refund policy and hardship program. This committee discussed the need to amend current refund policy to reflect the need to be able to process refunds for day camp programs in the event of wait lists occurring. The director will also forward corporate services for review and recommendation. A hardship program will also be coming in the council through the corporate services committee once staff have time to review and make recommendations. The last thing I'll also talk about, we did talk about it, it's not here in the minutes, but we need to find some other source of e-services, because the registration, there was many examples this time of parents trying to get in to register kids, and either it timed out or they had two kids in the cart and only got to register one. So Director Martin could probably expand on some of this, but there has to be a better way, and I think I've only been in this chair for 2 years, but I know that even prior to that, our e-services is not up to spec as far as I'm concerned. Even from a town citizen, I was trying to register there a number of years ago. It was not easy to get through. So I think we have to find, at least go down the road of looking for something that can be a little bit more user-friendly for registration purposes especially. So ends my report, unless anybody has anything else?
I just want to comment on what you just said about the services, because this has been going on now for years, I think, and maybe it is time for a review, because it surfaces so often that people are having problems with it. So I think it's time to let's deal with it once and for all.
I just wanted to put in there, sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just going to add, I mean, e-services in Town Suite, it's a good program for certain things like financials, but it's not built for recreation. It was something they tried to incorporate in it afterwards. So, we have a lot of staff resources, and not just the Recreation Department, but I'm sure Norm could talk about how much time Finance Department spends on the phone trying to coach people through how to register for a simple program. The other thing to keep in mind is e-services doesn't have facility booking software that we can use. So that also, if we had a proper recreation system, we could also have facility bookings, which will make it a lot easier for internal departments as well.
Deputy Mayor?
Okay, no, I just wanted to bring up, we had some discussion on it, and I guess I spoke to the CAO about having a guide that involves, I guess, the common, recreation, the history house, and the folk arts. So what transpired on that after, and having one calendar that would be done up to.
I know myself and the CEO and special events coordinator met, and myself and the CEO also met with the manager of the History House and just discussed communication-wise, having things in two departments. There were some budget allocations that needed to be done in order to keep it in one, I guess, as one large event. And operationally, it just didn't make sense, so we decided to keep it. There was also some internal, I guess, staffing things to consider. So at the end of the day, it was decided that we would keep it kind of separate. The other thing to keep in mind is when the spring, I guess when we incorporated everything into one that came out in the spring program guide, we were inundated with people and phone calls at the recreation department of people looking to register for History House programs because they assumed it was under recreation.
I know that I had brought, okay.
Could
you're
I
on
just,
there? Okay.
so historically, our festivals have always been promoted separately from our main operational programs. There are some issues which you can't discuss in the public chamber, which I can make council aware at committee of the whole in a privileged session, and we did commit to circling back around to have another discussion after the summer on how things can work together. There's several things at play here right now that this is the better approach, and once I explain it to council, it'll become self-evident, but I can't get into it because it's HR related, so.
I appreciate the fact that it might be HR related and what have you, but I guess, and I haven't made no secret of this, that I think from a resident perspective, like it's one thing to do it from social media to do individual, but I think if there was any way possible to do some sort of a calendar, just to put it in so that residents can look at it and say, June 1st or something at the beach with the folk arts and, so I think that regardless of where we go, I think that from the point of view of residents having something that they can just look at, that it's something that we need to look at having it done rather than three different documents.
The director and I are meeting tomorrow morning, so we'll discuss the matter further. And like I said, there's other, I can't get into it.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
And it's impacting the ability to do that. So I'll just leave it at that.
That's fine. Okay. All right, thank you. That's it for recreation. Any other questions? All right, very good. Liaison committees. Atlantic Mayor's Congress, I will be going to Amherst, June 8th to the 10th for our meeting, and I did circulate the minutes from the last meeting to Anne today, and she's going to include in the next council package. Intergovernmental affairs, I guess I got ahead of myself. I would have mentioned the thing about our approval for our water treatment here, I guess, but it's already done. Jack Byrne, any update? No. Okay, thank you very much. Northeast Avalon Joint Council.
We're having a meeting / social on the 21st of June, so Councillor Tapper, you'll get an invite to that as well. It's two from each community, so. For all. For all council? For Northeast Avalon Joint Council, for the rep. No.
Okay.
We talked about it, but with costs associated and what have you with it, that we just kept it to the two that normally participates from each town.
All right, thank you. Torbay Volunteer Fire Department, Councillor Manning.
I have nothing there right now.
Okay, thank you. Urban Municipalities Committee, we met at symposium. I missed last meeting, right, since symposium? And we had a really good meeting, and I'm hoping to get my hands on the minutes soon, because we did talk a lot about a mentorship program that we're looking at hopefully doing, so I'm bringing that back to the board. And it was really interesting, actually, when we had the meeting and listened to new counselors, and not just young, but people that are kind of our age, my age, that are new to council, that when they get elected, they show up on day one, particularly if they have a brand new council, really not having any idea what to do, where to turn. The training can only do so much for you, so they we're hoping to set up a mentoring network that you know, you never know, you might get reached out to see if you would be interested in being a mentor for other people that are coming to council, or talking to people across the province about how they do things and what they learned in their first year, second year, 20th year. And you know, so that's one thing that we talked about, that's we're hoping to really move forward on that. And I mean, that's the type of thing that M&L should be involved in as an organization, providing that type of service to our members. So that's one thing that I'm pushing for that. And the other is, we talked about advocacy, how we advocate, and that's something that we've been talking about now at the board level for a while, about particularly the larger municipalities are eager to advocate with more of a, I hate to use the word big stick, but they feel that we could advocate better in more direct ways, I guess. So that's something else that we're working on, which once I get my minutes, I'll share them with you. Alrighty. Oh, and our next urban municipalities meeting is going to be, I'm guessing, I think it's August 17th to the 19th in Bonavista. So my wife's going to be happy. That's our anniversary. Okay, that's it for that. Any questions on any of those committees? All right, we got no notices of motion. New business, pass. Deputy Mayor.
I just want to, I had a note here, find it. Congrats to all of the grads. I saw some awesome pictures online. The young men and women done up beautiful, and wish them all the best in the future. And as well, I'd like to say happy birthday to Bob Yetman, and who used to formerly own the store on the Balleen line. And I also want to pass along, I thought of this after, but best wishes, and to let Deputy Mayor Colley know that she's in our thoughts and prayers, her and her family, as she's going through this ordeal, and wish her a speedy recovery. And I can't stop and say thank you without saying thank you to everybody that went out to help clean up the town on Saturday. It was great to see that we had so many individuals and groups, and especially the Lions Club, who we went out to pick up garbage, but also hosted the barbecue over at the at the Common. So, and to the staff who went around and picked up the garbage. I think it was the most that we've had in a few years that got out and participated in it. So that was really good to see. So we can go onward and upward for next year, so.
Okay, excellent.
All right.
All good stuff. All right, so I just want to pass along, I guess, a recognition and congratulations to Alex Wells. He's a young wheelchair basketball player that lives in our town. And I first met him, man, when I was, I guess, first on council up at a breakfast or something at the Holy Name Building, Parish Hall, I guess, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, he also approached me when we did our, I think the last time that we hosted the Killicos Games, about the fact that we don't have any sports for people who are disabled, and we did at that time. He set it up for us to have the wheelchair basketball Newfoundland down, and we did a game at the high school gym. And you know, I really hoped that that was going to continue as we went forward. It kind of fell off the radar, but you know, it's something that we need to be cognizant of. Anyway, so I know that he just got back from he played in the Canada Games with Newfoundland. I'm just going to read this out just because I think it's important. So I asked him to give me some details on it. He said he'd been playing wheelchair basketball for 12 years. In February, he had the opportunity to represent Team Newfoundland in his second Canada Games in Prince Edward Island. It was a great experience for him as he got to compete with the best amateur players in the country and make a lot of new friends. After the games, he was eager for more competition, so he reached out to Wheelchair Basketball Canada to see if there were any teams in need of players for the upcoming Canadian Wheelchair Basketball League National Tournament in British Columbia. They put his name forward to the registered teams, and Team Manitoba reached out to him, and he knew a few of their players from Canada Games, so it was a good fit for him. Competition at Nationals was another level, and many teams had players from Team Canada. His team played well together and won their first two games, only to lose the game in the semifinals to put them in contention for the bronze medal. Next up for him is a trip to Toronto in July for Team Canada Identification Camp. This camp is used to identify upcoming talent for selecting the next Team Canada. However, since then, I know that he got picked up. He got accepted to go to Southwest Minnesota State University to get a BS in Physical Education, Recreation, and to play ball there. The head coach was his coach at Nationals with Team Manitoba, and he saw his potential and his abilities, and he offered him a spot to play in NCAA Division II League. So, and I know he's watching, and Alex, I just want to say that congratulations, and you know, we're extremely proud of you that from here that you could get to go and play, be recognized for your skills, and he's a really good person. He's a nice young fella, and his parents are wonderful, and I'm so lucky to be able to say that I know him and I would consider him a friend. So I just want to say, pass along those congratulations to him, and I'm sure that he's going to do awesome down in the NCAA, so congratulations to him. All right, we got any questions and answers? No? Perfect. Next public council meeting is scheduled to take place Monday, June 12th, 2023, right here in the council chambers in the town of Torbay. And with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.